Flowers are emotional, with bouquets and arrangements conveying messages of love, gratitude, and even sympathy. For more than 100 years, Fujikami Florist has helped thousands of customers mark their special occasions. And for the owner of Hawaii's oldest florist, it's about continuing a proud family legacy.
I love all the flowers when they come in. They're all different and unique, and some smell good, some are pokey, like this one. My name is Eileen Miura. I'm the third generation owner of Fujikami Florist.
My name is George, and I started working at Fujikami's roughly 30 years ago. I am part of the family as well. I'm married to a Fujikami daughter. I started in 1993. My wife, of course, was already affiliated with Fujikami's, working there every day. We kind of hit it off, and 3 years later we got married on a lark in Las Vegas.
My grandfather, Walter Fujikami, started Fujikami Florist in 1919. I just remember Grandpa loved flowers and he loved people.
Walter established the first shop at the corner of 4th Street and Pauahi Street. He had a background in business. He was a student for a brief amount of time at the Honolulu Business College. He was a veteran of World War I. He enlisted at the age of 21 and then was honorably discharged in 1919. And 5 months later, he was opening his first flower shop. He really established himself in the business here, in the business community. He was very, very prominent, not only in the Japanese community, but across the board. He was just that type of a man, and very civic-minded, and had a lot of impetus for the community. And people used to say that if you needed help or you needed advice, or you need anything, Walter was a good person to go see, because he was always willing to help people.
My favorite memory of Grandpa, coming to the shop, going to get icy at the Crest store. It's not always working though. Every Sunday we go to the beach and then go to KC Drive-In to get a waffle dog and peanut butter shake. But flowers have always just been a part of us. So these are the South American roses. Uncle Stephen was the first to bring these in, I think. They're really long, about 30 inches. The buds, the heads are really pretty. They're about 2 inches. They bloom really nice. There's different varieties, but red is always nice. Literally, I grew up in the flower shop. So when I would be going to the Bishop Street store, Grandpa was retired, and so Uncle owned the store. Mom was there working alongside him.
In the mid to late 70s, he was getting on in his years, turning 80 or so. And so his eldest son, Stephen, who had been very much involved in the business, took over the reins. Stephen decided in 1987 to take Fujikami to the next step and the next level, and a new location over on Pensacola and South Peritania. Steve implemented many, many changes, innovations in that day. People may recall that in the 80s, it was a time of catalogs. Your mailbox would be crammed with catalogs from all of these mainland companies. And Steve took that idea. He published catalogs with his best designs, new and innovative designs. And people utilized those catalogs. They were a great, terrific tool, and they stimulated the business. And to this day, 20 years later, since the last catalog went out of print, people still call us, our old customers, and they order by the catalog number of an arrangement.
Anthuriums drink from the face. Even when you have them at home, you could always spray them with water. And you always cut the stems at an angle so that they drink well in the bucket.
Steve was getting ready to retire. I think it was about 2010. My wife and I, Steve's sister Amy, we decided that we would like to pursue it and we would like to take it over and continue. We used the Pensacola and Barateno location, and after about 5 or 6 years, Eileen, who is Amy's daughter and had been working for us for, a good many years, expressed an interest and a desire to take up the reins, and we said, go for it, it's all yours. Now we're back here on Pali Highway and Kukui Street, only a couple of blocks from where Walter started 104 years ago.
So I actually started working here in my 20s. So I started under Uncle Steven at the Pensacola Street location. And I had to learn everything. I didn't know anything. I didn't know flower names. I didn't know the mechanics. I didn't know how to process the flowers. So I learned all that. I had to learn how to design because when Mom and George were running the shop, we had designers, but it's always hard to find a designer that can design your work. Anybody can copy, but it always comes down to their mechanics. Our style has been the same almost through the generations. That Oriental style is what we're known for.
Yeah, it's a blend of different elements that you see, feature flowers, secondary flowers, and there's always a lot of line in these arrangements to give not only the perspective, but just a certain amount of verticality and that kind of thing. Elements like these create a negative space, but the arrangement encompasses that space, and so the dimension is thereby enlarged and increased without actually increasing the volume. These are all parts of the Oriental sort of, I guess, feel or motif of the arrangement. And it's a very serene one, but the most important thing is balance. If there's no balance, then there's no serene feeling that you get from looking at this.
Getting flowers every week, it's like opening a Christmas present every week. Even though it's a box of flowers, it's pretty and I get to touch it, I get to clean it, put it away, get it ready for the order, for the occasion for our customers. I love talking to them. I like to know what they're doing. Over the generations, growing up with our family, it's always been that way. So talking to the customer, treating them like your family almost, getting to know them, it's a part of the process. I like making arrangements because it's relaxing for me, I think. I'm making someone's day.
Fortunately for us, there has been a good carryover from generation to generation. This is where my mother and father got their wedding flowers. You hear that often. This is where my dad used to come to buy prom flowers for my mom, or this is where my father sent me. There's a lot of generational transfer, if you will, of information. So that kind of word of mouth is very good, and it's the best reference, I think, that you can have.
Oh, I love getting feedback from the customers. I get a lot of customers that'll call and say, oh, you sent the flowers to so-and-so and they loved it. Thank you so much. It inspires me for the next occasion to make something special. I take pride in what we do.
When you realize how important the occasions are, and that people have actually come out to honor those occasions by sending flowers and sending your flowers. That type of a thing is, really meaningful to me.
Working in the family business, it's a lot of work, but it's also fun.
She's exhibited a great deal of work ethic and perseverance and the talent, and she's always had a great way with people. So I look at what Walter had when he started, and it's the same set of tools.
I love what I do. I mean, who can say that they love what they do? I love working with flowers. I love meeting the people. I love our customers. I love coming to work every day. And so hopefully I can continue this.